Uh, so hi guys, good evening everyone. So a very good evening to you all, and welcome to Chats and Chill, guys. So good evening. Hope you're doing well tonight. As we get to start off this Chats and Chill session. So I've actually been sending invites to guys. I've been sending invites, so I hope guys have received. I've sent quite a number of invites. Uh, I hope guys have received that. So I'm just giving guys about a second or two to be able to join in. Let me see. Alpha, hi man. Hello, Alpha.
Jeffrey,
Yeah, hi.
yeah, hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome to the session.
Thank you.
But there's someone who's looking for you, Alpha. He's from let me see. I've actually gotten that message right now. There's someone who's looking for you. He was in the event for the FX Mtani we had last year in Muranga.
Here in Muranga,
Yeah, his name is, I don't know, Paul or something.
can you
Mm,
tell him to text me on Discord?
yeah, I've been sent by support because now he asked through now my reference. He sent like a request to support. So now I'm seeing it from now support are the ones who've texted me telling me if I
Okay,
know the person who he's referring to, and I know it's you who that guy is referring to. So because he's also from the sides.
in Muranga.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how he can reach me. Just in case he reaches out to you, tell him to text me on Discord.
Okay. Yeah. I will. So Hanimwash. Hi.
Hi Jeff, hi Alpha.
Hi. How are you?
Hi,
I'm well,
Welcome to this session.
thank you.
So as we get to start off, I've just sent out quite a number of invites. So uh I'll give guys about a minute or two to be able to join in. Yeah, can say that. Give guys about a second or two to join in. So as we get ready for the new week in the markets, let's get to see what it is we are anticipating for. So I'll get to look at a couple of pairs. I'll get to check out a couple of pairs to get to see what it is we are anticipating for. Uh, we get to see what it is we are anticipating for across the different pairs. So we have probably let me get to start off with the dollar index. Then I'll go into the different other pairs. Then in case anyone has a pair or a question you'd like me to check out, I'll get to I'll just get to check it out. Okay. So I have this is the dollar index. Let me start off with the dollar index, then I go into the rest of the other pairs. So then everyone else will just get to catch up as we progress. So welcome, even as I can see more guys joining in. So welcome guys, chats and chill, as we get to have these evening session here. So let me start off with looking at the dollar index. So let's see what we are anticipating for on the dollar, because now these guides our decision making in terms of how we get to look at the rest of the other dollar pairs and also different other assets. Like now, for example, the indices, gold and silver, and also we have commodities, Brent oil and crude oil. So we have this. Starting off on the dollar index, we have maintained a very we've maintained a very major range for about 1 year, 2 months now. So it's about 1 year, 2 months. So from this supply area here, we maintain from this supply area here all the way down to this demand, and from this demand all the way back to this supply, that range is filled. Then you have again now from this supply coming back to this demand, that range is filled. Then from this demand again you have the rally all the way back to that supply, that range is filled. Then from supply again we get to see a very strong drop all the way down again to this demand, that range gets filled. Then from this demand again, so it's a zone to zone scenario. From one supply to the next demand, from one demand to the next supply. That is why we are calling it a zone to zone scenario. Then from this supply again, a push to the downside, all the way down to this demand. Then from this demand, the rally all the way now to this supply. Now this supply had the breakout at this area and price forms a higher high. Okay. Then we have price dropping back into this zone, and we have seen a very strong bearish candle into the zone at this point here. Now remember, when we discussed about this in the morning, we mentioned the determinant factor. Okay, we mentioned about a determinant factor, whereby the determinant factor becomes this area here. This is 101.150. So at this level, you get to see, will price get to push above? I mean, will price get to break above and keep pushing higher? Or will we get to see now a potential shift in market structure similar to what we saw at this area here? Okay. Will we get to see a similar reaction here? And from currently what you're seeing on the daily, we still don't have price forming anything like this. So I have this kind of thing here. So the dollar index like that. We don't get to see a candle close above the zone and price pushing like that. So what instead we are seeing is what instead you're seeing is a rejection at this particular point. Okay, you get to see a rejection at this particular point. All right. So ideally, if price doesn't break above this level here, chances are very high you may get to see a potential shift in market structure. And the moment you get to see a shift in market structure, we are looking at a potential reversal. But now let's go to the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame and see. On the 4 hours, we have this kind of scenario here. So we had price break above. I mean, we had price break below this. We had price break below this. Then the retest here, because now price has failed to break above. Then the next thing we're looking at is a potential push to the downside, like this here. Okay, we get to see a potential push to the downside, and price reacting at this particular point. So we have this kind of scenario. Uh-huh. So you have this kind of a scenario here. So I push like this. The moment you get to see a break below, this confirms the potential shift in market structure. And currently, with this kind of reaction here, chances are very high you may get to see price keep pushing lower. So let's just observe and see how price reacts to this. But ideally, we are looking at a potential. Ideally, we are looking at a potential push to the downside. Okay. So ideally, we are looking at a potential. We are looking at a potential push to the downside, and price is coming all the way down to, this. Okay. So, uh, let's get to see how price reacts to this. Ideally, chances are very high you may get to see a potential bearish. Chances are very high you may get to see a potential bearish reversal here with this kind of structure formation. Because now we've invalidated the rally-based rally kind of scenario. However, again, something to note, price can also get to this area here, something like this. Then you get to see a push like this. So now here, you see the way now you're anticipating to see like multiple candle closes above and price pushes higher. In this scenario here, we get now to see a candle close below. Now this is where now I usually talk about like precision and your accuracy in terms of entries. So when price now you see price comes to this area, we have something like this. So you have a candle close. The moment you see a candle forming something like this, all right? The moment you see price forming something like this, then this is now the area you will start looking for your potential opportunities. Okay, then you anticipate like a potential now shift in market structure like that. After you've confirmed with a candle close below this area here. Okay, so we have that. That is what we should be looking out for on the dollar index. Now that the determinant factor already we can see, you remember well as we had discussed this, the determinant factor was these areas of 101 points, 101.150. But instead, price has failed to break above. So that now invalidates the previous bullish continuation that we had, which was the rally-based rally. Now we are looking at a potential shift in market structure, and the confirmation for that will be the break below this, because now the break below this now signifies that we've already now had the shift in market structure. We've already now looking at a change of bias or a change of direction. Okay, so let's get to observe and see how price reacts to this on the dollar index. Okay, now that guides even now what we are anticipating for on the rest of the other pairs. Now, for example, this is the USD. Now on this pair, I still for this pair, I'm still looking at a potential continuation of the rally higher. If you start this on the daily time frame, you can see there is this kind of scenario here. We have the breakout above, a higher high formed, a retest of this. Although now price is kind of like within a consolidation within this area, what is happening here is we are looking at accumulation of orders. Remember the market faces, the different phases that usually happen in the market. We have the accumulation of orders, we have the distribution of orders. So here we have the breakout retest. So this is an accumulation phase before you get to see the distribution phase like that. Okay. So you're looking at at this point you're looking at a potential continuation of the rally higher. You already have multiple confluences for that happening. So now when you come to the 4 hour, we have this kind of scenario here, like that. Now look at what you have here. Each time price we had, even the first time, this was the first breakout. Then push down like that. Then you have the new higher high that was formed. Then you had the retracement back to demand. Then goes to the highs. Then price drops back into this demand. Rallies to the highs, fails to break above, then price pushes again back to this demand like that. So at this point, I'll be looking at a potential push to the downside all the way to 1.41600 before now we get to see another potential rally like this. So what is happening here? We are at an accumulation phase. So here we have accumulation of orders. Okay. At this particular point, you have accumulation of orders. Before now we get to have the distribution. Distribution now is the trending. Distribution now is the trending market. Okay. Distribution is the trending market. Okay. So that is what we are looking out for on this one. The only time we will get to probably see, or rather look at a potential shift in market structure, or probably an invalidation of this, is if price breaks below this. And then we see now a drop into all the way down into these areas at 1.40, 940 areas down here. Okay, something like this. But instead, if price maintains within above these areas, of which uh, higher chances are price is going to maintain that. Okay, of which higher chances is that price is going to maintain that. Then we look at a potential continuation of the rally higher on USD. So if you're probably someone who's still probably holding positions at this particular point, I'd still tell you to hold them, but now make sure your stops are at break even. Okay, so that you're well protected there. Then we have USD CHF. hmm We have USD CHF right here. There's USD CHF. Now for this one, look at the kind of scenario that you have. A very good range, the major range rather, from this supply all the way down into this demand and back to this supply. That major range is filled like that. And from this supply again, you have the strong push to the downside. These are retest. Now this area here is a determinant factor. Will we get to see a potential push to the downside like this? Or will we get to see price rally deeper into this? Chances are high, right? Chances are high we may get to see something like this. And price pushes down to potentially these areas of 0.79 120 levels. Okay. So let's get to observe and see how price reacts to this on your DCHF. And now this is on the daily time frame. And then now what is happening is also a replica of what we saw here and what we've seen here as well. This area, we have this, a replica of this, and also a replica of this. Because you're looking at a push to the downside, then a retest. A push to the downside, then a retest of that area. Okay. So we have that. We have that on USDCHF. Okay, we have that. We've got that on USDCHF. So let's just observe and see how price reacts to that. There's quite a lot of mixed sentiments, especially today. But from tomorrow, we shall see structures well aligning. Now, this one for USDCHF, this looks quite bearish. We've already seen the push to the downside, then the retests, and this area here. Chances are high may get to see a potential push to the downside like that. And get to see price drop down to 0.79, 120, 0.79, 120 levels. Okay. We have a range from this demand all the way to this supply and back to this demand. This range is filled. Okay. So we have that on we've got that on USDCHF. Then let's have a look at Euro USD and GBP USD. You can see USDCHF looks heavily bearish. USDCAD looks heavily bullish. Now if you look at, let's say, Euro USD and GBP USD, you can see Euro USD now pushing to the upside from here. Then GBP USD. mhm, GBP USD again. Now this one has treated this level as a potential continuation of the rally higher. This one. Because now here, probably start this one on the daily. Now this kind of a scenario here. So price is broken above, this. So price is broken above this. Then you have a retest. Then a potential push to the upside. So I'll anticipate to see price rally all the way to these areas of 1.34, 500 levels like that. We have these areas here. We have these highs 1.34, 1.34, 500 levels till up here. Okay, so here we are looking at a potential bullish continuation, and price is coming up to these areas of potentially these areas of 1.34, 500 levels. So let's get to observe and see how price reacts to these on GBP USD. Because ideally now here we have a range from these highs to this demand, then back to the highs. And then now you also have now the major supply up here. So let's observe and see how price gets to react to that on GBP USD. Then when you look at Euro USD, you can see the reaction here. This is a very key area of interest, and we had seen price push to the downside all the way down like this, all the way down like this. Then now we are seeing a retracement again. Now here we had, this is a very key area of demand. Price broke below and formed the lower lows there. Then we had a retracement to these areas here. Push to the downside, price rallies into this supply. Multiple rejection risks with candle closes inside the zone. Then a push to the downside like that. Now price failed to form a candle close below here. Chances are very high we may get to see price do something like this and keep pushing higher. Chances are very high we may get to see that happening at this particular point. Unless now price fails to break above this area here. But this is a sign, this already is a sign that chances are very high that price will actually get to break above. These are very huge sign. Price has failed to break below, to form a candle close below here, something like this. Uh, Something like this. Mm, Something like that. Okay. So here we've not formed any candle close below. We are still seeing price. We're still seeing price push above. So ideally, we will get to see price rally and break above. Okay. So let's get to see how price reacts at that particular point. Let's get to see how price reacts at that particular point on Euro USD. Then you have. Mhm, let me see. Sorry, bit an emergency here in the morning. It's okay, Hanmash. It's okay. We'll catch up in the live analysis in the morning. So we have that on GBP USD. I mean on Euro USD. So you can see quite a bit of conflicting ideas. Although now for GBP USD now this looks like a like a solid potential. I mean like a solid bullish potential continuation. All right. So there is that. Then you have a look at let me have a quick look at gold and silver. You have gold right there. So for gold, we've had this range from this supply area here all the way down to this demand. Then from this demand again, all the way down to this supply. Because I remember we had looked at potential buyers for this, and we've seen now the range has been filled to this supply area here. Now look at the kind of scenario we're seeing. Price gets to these low. We have these lows here, that is where price is reacting from. Then you get to see something like this. So will you get to see a potential continuation of the rally higher to this next supply, to this next supply at this area here, 43, 42 areas up here. Okay, so that is now the key. That is now the next key area of interest. Okay, that will be the next key area of interest. So let's get to observe and see. Let's get to observe and see how price reacts to this. The range is from this supply to this demand and back to this supply. Then here we get to see will price get to this area here, because again we have this kind of scenario here. So price pushes to the downside, has failed to break below these lows. Then we get to see a retracement back into the supply before now potential, something like this. Ideally, that is what I will anticipate, or rather I will anticipate for. But if you see price rally into this supply and gain more momentum, the previous scenario might happen. So, but let's just wait and see how price. Let's just wait and see how price actually reacts at that point. Okay. Let's see on gold. Then you have silver as well. So for silver, I think we already talked about silver right here. Now this has already formed this kind of scenario. We'll be looking at a potential continuation of the rally higher. You have like a breakout here, a retest. So you anticipate to see a potential continuation of the rally higher, and price is coming all the way to 70.49 to 82 because of this supply. This supply is the origin of this whole drop all the way down to these levels here. So at this point, I'll be looking at a potential. I'll be looking at a potential push to the upside on silver. Okay, I'd be looking at a potential. I'd be looking at a potential push to the upside. Okay, so there is that on silver. You can see these on the 4 hour. So if a break above a retest, chances are very high we'll be looking at a potential continuation of the rally higher on this one. So this is silver. Then when we have a look at NAS and your STATI, you have NASDAQ right here, and then your STATI right here. So we have something like this. There is your STATI. You can see we are already at new all-time highs at 53,000. Now for your STATI, if we come actually from these areas here, is on the daily time frame. This will have been a very good let me see your USDCHF charts. Hi Cecilia. I'll actually let you do USDCHF because I had already done USDCHF, but now since you're here, I think I had done it before you joined, or probably you found me doing it. So uh we have this on your starty. So for your starty, we have price broke above this supply area, or rather these previous high, formed a new all-time high. Then you have the retest, then break above another high, retest. Now we are at new all-time highs, and chances are high will still keep pushing to the upside. Eh, chances are very high will still keep pushing to the upside. So you have this, then breakout, the retest, then here again you had this kind of scenario. So you're looking at a potential continuation of the rally higher on US 30. Then for Nasdaq we have this same case, but now for this one, as long as you're still, this is the range you're working with from this demand all the way to, don't know why this is from this demand all the way to these highs, the all-time highs. These are the all-time highs. Then price comes to this demand. From demand again, you see the rally. So this is the range that you have. The highs, price pushes down. So I'd anticipate to see something like this before now. A strong push to the upside. Even this one, I'm looking at eventually price taking out these highs, 30,750, and still pushing higher. But first, we want to see that push to the downside before now the strong rally, before the strong rally to the upside. Okay. So, we have that on Nasdaq. Then, Cecilia, hi. Hello, Cecilia, can you hear me? You've asked about USDCHF. Uh, Cecilia, you asked about my USDCHF chart. Uh, there's USDCHF. I wanted you to also like also wanted to hear your or rather see your analysis. Mhm. That is the chart. Right there. Yeah, but I can you can't unmute. Oh, okay. Okay. So that is the chart for USDCHF. Chances are high we may get to see a potentially weaker dollar. Okay, chances are very high we may get to see a potentially weaker dollar. Uh-huh. Let me actually see USDCHF. Mm-hmm. Mm, USDCHF. We may get to see a potential bearish push to the downside. 0.80553. So, 0.8880. Mm-hmm. 0.8880. 0.8880. I have that.
Hi
Zero-
Jeff, now I can be able to.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I just wanted to confirm something from your chat and mine.
Okay. You can share the screen.
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah. So I just wanted to confirm where the rejection, whether it has stopped the supply.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it has. This area 660. This 660 will have been the perfect will be the perfect area of entry.
So
Yeah.
so definitely that's a sale.
Yes, these are very good potential sell here. And there's a very good potential sell for USDCHF. Then you get to see the drop all the way down.
Okay then. Sawa basi wacha tuingie basi.
Right, let's see how this one reacts. But ideally, this is one of those textbook trades. So it will be a very good one. But again, you have to have your risk in check, even if it is a very good, even if it is a very good setup. But this is quite a very textbook one. So there is that on USDCHF. Then when I look at you had this area here. That's why I started when you talked about the dollar index. You can see even the reactions here. Chances are very high the dollar index is going to end up weaker. So you have this. This one here, the whole bearish engulfing candle at this particular point here. So you have this then a push to the downside. We are looking at a potentially weaker dollar, and prices are probably coming down to these areas of 99. These 99.500 areas up in these levels here. But now we need for more confirmation, we'll get to see a potential break below or a candle close below these levels. Okay, so we have that on the dollar index. We have that on the dollar index. Again, a weaker dollar index will support a stronger NAS and USD. And for Nasdaq, you can see even here, based off the daily, we're still quite bullish, as much as we've seen some little bearish movements here. But overall, when you look on the daily, this is still demand. This area here. So price has not broken. Price has not broken demand yet. Price has not broken demand. This area here, like that. Okay. So as long as demand has held, we still see a push to the upside. Price goes up, comes back down, goes up again, comes back down. So even here we anticipate to see a push to the upside like that. Okay. So
Nani mmeniacha? Mmeniacha?
yeah.
Mnarudi?
Hey, Rada. I'm trying to mute. Winkate, please mute. Oh yeah, good. No mute. Nashangaa rada. So we have this right here. We anticipate to see a potential push to the upside. Okay. We are anticipating to see a potential push to the upside and prices pushing all the way to. Ideally, I'd want to see price take out this and form new highs. These areas up here. We don't see price break above that and keep pushing to and still keep pushing to the upside. Okay. So it's a very key area of interest. Let's observe and see. And that's why I've mentioned even now for silver. For silver, we anticipate to see silver kwanza, this one here will have been a very key to have been a very nice area of potential entries here. For silver here, if you want to swing this, you can have potential entries from current price. Actually, let me even see if I can scout for some good opportunities there. So you take silver and USD and then you get to see how it goes. Silver and USD. Let me actually get to see silver right here. 0.05 by then silver 61 points. Let's see what we have. This can be a very good one. Potential swing 60.30, 60.3, to 60.400.